Welcome back, everyone. In our first lesson, we mastered the six stubborn letters. Today, we are moving on to a very exciting part of the Arabic alphabet, the friendly letters. Unlike the stubborn ones, these letters love to hold hands from both sides. To make learning easier for you, I have categorized the remaining letters into six main groups based on their shapes. Once you learn the base shape of a group, you will automatically know how to write all the letters in that family. They are divided as follows. Group 1, the plate boat shape group, includes letters like ba, ta, tha, noon, and ya, where only the number and position of the dots change. Group 2, the belly shapes group. Al-Jeem and its sisters, An-Ain and Ghayn, includes Jeem, Ha, Kha, Ain, and Ghayn, characterized by their large deep lower part. Group 3, the teeth shape group, includes Sin, Shin, referring to the small ridges at the beginning of the letter. Group 4, the oval balloon group, includes Sad, Dad, Ta, and Dha, which have a wide rounded body. Group 5, the round head shape group, includes Fa, Qaf, Mim, and Ha. Group 6, the stick shape group, includes Kaf and Lam. In today's episode, we are going to dive deep into the first two groups. Are you ready to see how these shapes transform when they hold hands? Let's get started with our first group, the boat plate group, which includes ba, ta, tha, noon, and ya. What makes these letters special is that in the beginning and middle of a word, they all share the same base shape, like a small tooth or the front of boat stretching their arms to hold onto the next letter. The only way to tell them apart is by the number and position of their dots, the passengers. This simple pattern is the first secret to mastering Arabic handwriting. Now, let's start with the letter in the Arabic alphabet among the non-stubborn letters, connectors, those that connect to the letter following them. This is the letter Ba. Just like other letters, Ba appears at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of a word. We will now examine each case individually, providing examples for each. Ba at the beginning of the word. When ba comes at the beginning of a word, it gives up its full plate shape and keeps only its initial tooth or hook stretching its arm along the line to connect. This transition is like a boat extending a bridge to the next dock. Let's see examples. Batta, which means duck. Bahr, which means sea. Badinjan, eggplant. Basal, onion. We notice that ba at the beginning of the word is written in the form of ba in the middle of the word. When the friendly letter ba appears in the middle of a word, it becomes a bridge between two letters. In this position, it stretches its arm in the both directions, one arm to hold the letter before it and the other to connect with the letter after it. It loses its full plate shape and appears as a small tooth on the line. This shows how cooperative this letter is, as it changes its from entirely to maintain the flow of the word. Examples: حبل, which means rope. Notice how the letter ba in the middle of the word حبل acts like a bridge, stretching its arms to hold the ha before it and the lam after it. حبر, ink. Notice how the letter ba in the middle of the word حبر acts like a bridge, stretching its arm to hold the ha before it and the ra after it. غابة, forest. In the word غابة, the letter ba connects to the ghain before it and the alif after it. Subha, prayer beads, rosary. In the word subha, the letter ba is a bridge. It connects perfectly with the sin before it and the ha after it. Mibra, pencil sharpener. In the word مبرة, the letter باء is in the middle. It connects to the meme before it and the ra after it. We notice that باء in the middle of the word is written in the form of باء at the end of the word. When a friendly letter such as باء comes at the very end of a word, it finally regains its original full shape to signal that the word is finished. If the letter before it is a connector, the باء will stretch its arm to the right to hold on while closing its plate or boat shape on the left. It acts like a bookend, gracefully finished the word while maintaining its connection to its neighbors. Examples: حاسوب, computer. In the word حاسوب, the letter باء comes at the end. However, notice that it's not connected to the letter before it. Wow! عنب, which means grapes. In the word عنب, the letter باء comes at the end and is connected to the letter before it, نون. قلب, which means heart. In the word قلب, the letter باء closes the word. It's connected to the letter لام before it. باب, which means door. The last باء, it comes at the end, but because the alif is a stubborn letter, the final باء stands alone in its full, independent shape. The word باب is a fantastic example. It shows the باء in two different positions. The first one is a connector reaching out to the alif. The last one is independent because the alif refuses to hold its hand. It's the perfect way to see how the same letter changes based on its neighbors. طبيب, which means doctor. The final باء, it comes at the end and connects to the ya before it, then closes its shape to finish the word. In the word طبيب, we see the باء twice. The first one is in the middle position, holding hands with both neighbors. The second one is in the end position, holding the letter before it and then completing its boat shape to signal the end of the word. We notice that باء at the end of the word is written in the form of. Now let's start with the letter in the Arabic alphabet among the non-stubborn letters, connectors, those that connect to the letter following them. This is the letter ta. Just like other letters, ta appears at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of a word. We will now examine each case individually, providing examples for each. Ta at the beginning, initial position. When ta starts a word, it looks exactly like the ba, but with two dots on top. It stretches its arm to connect with the letter that follows. Let's see examples. Teen, which means fig. Here the letter ta is at the beginning. It starts the word by stretching its arm to the left to hold the letter ya. In the word teen, we start with the letter ta. Notice how it only uses its tooth and stretches its arm to connect with the next letter. Don't forget its two special dots, the eyes sitting right on top. Toot, which means berries. The first ta, it is at the beginning. It stretches its arm to connect with the waw. Taj, crown. The letter ta starts the word. It stretches its arm to connect with the alif. In the word taj, the ta is at the beginning. It's very friendly, so it stretches its arm to hold the alif. Even though the alif is a stubborn letter, it always accepts the connection from the letter before it. Tamr, dates. The rule: in the word tamr, the letter ta is in the initial position. It starts the word and reaches out to connect with the letter mim. In the word tamr, we see the ta at the very beginning. It acts like a starter, stretching its arm to hold the mim. Notice how the two dots stay together on top of the small tooth shape. Ta in the middle of the word. Ta in the middle, the supporting bridge. When the letter ta is in the middle of a word, it stretches two arms, one to hold the friend before it and another to connect with the friend after it. It looks like a small tooth on the line with two dots, eyes sitting right on top. It's a very cooperative letter that helps keep the word together in one smooth flow. Examples: دفتر, which means notebook. In the word دفتر, the letter ta in the middle position. It stretches its right arm to hold the fa. It stretches its left arm to hold the ra. In the word دفتر, the letter ta acts as a perfect bridge because the letter fa before it is friendly. The ta can hold its hand. Then it reaches out to the ra after it. It looks like a little step in the middle of the word with two dots on top. Kitab, book. In the word kitab, the letter ta is in the middle position. It's a bridge. It connects the kaf before it to the alif after it. The word kitab is a classic example. Here the ta is right in the middle. It reaches out to the kaf on its right and the alif on its left. Notice how it forms a smooth, unbroken line with the kaf, acting as the perfect connector before the stubborn alif stops the flow. Sometimes the ta is in the middle of a word, but it doesn't look like a bridge. If a stubborn letter like alif comes before it, the ta can't hold its hand. Instead, it starts fresh and looks like an initial ta, stretching its arm only to the letter after it. Example: مكاتب in English means offices. Because the alif is stubborn and refuses to connect to the left, the ta has to start a new connection with the ba. We notice that ba in the middle of the word is written in the form of ta at the end of the word. When the letter ta comes at the end of a word, it regains its full boat shape with two dots on top. Its appearance depends on the letter before it. Connected, if the letter before it is a friendly connector, the ta stretches its right arm to hold it. Independent, if the letter before it is a stubborn letter, the ta stands alone, detached and complete. Examples: حوت, whales. In the word حوت, the letter ta is at the end. The shape, it's written in its full, independent form. The reason, because the letter before it is waw, which is the stubborn letter that refuses to connect to anything on its left. In the word hoot, the ta comes at the very end. Notice how it doesn't hold hands with the waw. That's because waw is a stubborn letter. As a result, the ta stands all by itself, showing its complete boat shape with its two dots on top. It's like a boat floating freely at the end of the word. Bait, which means house. In the word bait, the letter ta is at the end position. The shape, it returns to its full shape, the boat, but it keeps its right arm stretched. The reason, because the letter before it is ya, which is a friendly connector. It holds the ta hand firmly. In the word bait, the ta is at the end. Unlike the word hoot, here the ta is connected because the letter ya before it is a very friendly letter. It reaches out to the ta, and the ta holds back while closing its shape to finish the word. Nabat, which means plant. The ta, it is the final position. It's independent, standing alone, because the alif before it is a stubborn letter. We see the ta at the very end. Notice how the ta is not holding hands with the alif. That's our stubborn letter rule again. The ta has to be independent and complete its full boat shape. We notice that ta at the end of the word is written in the form of. Now, let's move on to the letter in the Arabic alphabet among the non-stubborn letters, connectors, those that connect to the letter following them. This is the letter tha. Just like other letters, tha appears at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of the word. We will now examine each case individually, providing examples for each. Tha at the beginning, initial position. When tha starts a word, it looks exactly like the ba and tha, but with three dots on top. It stretches its arm to connect with the letter that follows. Let's see examples. ثعلب, which means fox. In the word ثعلب, The letter ثاء is in the initial position. It looks just like the ba and ta, but it has 3 dots like a triangle or pyramid on top. It stretches its arm to connect with the letter عين. Now we meet the third sister, ثاء. In the word ثعلب, it starts the word by stretching its arm. The most important thing to remember is its 3 dots. The Arabic ثاء sounds exactly like the th in the English word think or three. You must put your tongue between your teeth. ثوب, which means dress, the shape and connection. In the word ثوب, the letter ثاء is in the initial position at the beginning. To write it, we draw a small tooth on the line. We stretch its arm to the left to hold the next letter, wow. We place 3 dots on top in a triangle shape. The sound of the letter ثاء is exactly like the th sound in English. Think of words like three, think, thing. To pronounce it correctly, just like in English, you must place the tip of your tongue between your upper and lower teeth. ثاء in the middle of the word. ثاء in the middle of a word. When the letter ثاء is in the middle of a word, its shape depends on the letter before it. Let's look at 2 different examples. اثنان, which means 2 in English. In the word اثنان, the ثاء follows an alif because the alif is a stubborn letter and refuses to connect to the left. The ثاء starts fresh. It looks just like it does at the beginning of a word, stretching only its left arm to hold the noon. Example, لثة, which means gums. In the word لثة, the ثاء is a perfect bridge. It's sitting down the lam and the ta مربوطة. Since the letters around it are friendly, it stretches 2 arms to hold both neighbors, keeping its 3 dots sitting right in the middle. It is written like a starter ثاء. If the letter before it is stubborn, ألف, دال, ذال, را, زاي, or واو, and like a bridge th if the letter before it is friendly. We notice that ثاء in the middle of the word is written in the form of ثاء at the end of the word. ثاء in the middle, different connections. When the letter ثاء appears in the middle of a word, its shape changes based on the letter that comes before it. Let's compare these 2 words. The connected bridge, غيث, which means rain. In the word غيث, the letter ثاء comes at the very end because the letter before it is ya, and the ya is a friendly connector. The ثاء stretches its right arm to hold it. The independent start, محراث, plow. In the word محراث, the ثاء is at the end, but let's look at how it behaves after a stubborn letter. If we look at the alif before it, we see that the alif is stubborn. This means that ثاء can't hold hands with the letter before it, so it stands in its full independent shape. Note, in محراث, the ثاء is actually at the very end, which makes it a great example of the final independent ثاء. We notice that ثاء at the end of the word is written in the form of. Now we move on to the other letter in the Arabic alphabet among the non-stubborn letters, connectors, those that connect to the letter following them. This is the letter noon. The letter noon at the beginning. We are looking at the letter noon when it starts a word. In Arabic, this is called the initial position. Just like a friendly neighbor, the noon changes its shape slightly to connect with the letter following it. The shape. When noon is at the beginning, it sits on the line and loses its deep bowl shape. It looks like a small tooth or a step, stretching its left arm out to hold the next letter. The most important feature is one single dot placed directly on top. The sound. The sound of noon is very easy. It sounds exactly like the English letter N. You can hear it clearly in English words like nose, net, or night. Examples. Nar, meaning fire. Here the noon starts the word and reaches out to hold the alif. Nahar, meaning river. The noon stretches its arm to connect with the letter ha. The letter noon in the middle. When the letter noon moves to the middle of a word, its shape depends on the letter before it. It can either act as a bridge or start a new connection. The shape. The bridge noon, if the letter before it is friendly, the noon stretches two arms to connect both sides. It keeps its one single dot sitting on top of the tooth. Example, صنوبر, meaning pine nuts. Here the noon is a bridge. It holds the sad on its right and the waw on its left. The starter, noon. If the letter before it is stubborn, the noon looks just like it does at the beginning, stretching only its left arm. It keeps its one single dot sitting on top of the tooth. Example, أنف, meaning nose. Here the noon follows an alif. Since alif is a stubborn letter, the noon can't hold its hand. It starts fresh and only connects to the fa on its left. The sound. The sound remains a clear n sound, just like in the English words sunny or aunt. The letter noon at the end. When the letter noon comes at the end of a word, it's a time for it to return to its original beautiful shape. It acts as an anchor to finish the word. The shape. At the end, the noon regains its deep circular ball that goes slightly below the line. Connected noon, if the letter before it is friendly, it stretches its right arm to hold it. The single dot now sits inside the ball or right above it. Examples, عين, meaning eye. The noon is connected. The letter ya before it is friendly and holds the noon's hand. Independent noon. If the letter before it is stubborn, it sits alone in its full shape. The single dot now sits inside the ball or right above it. The sound. The sound is a firm n sound, similar to the end of English words like sun, pen, or rain. Now we move on to the very last letter of the plate boat group. This is the letter ya. The letter ya at the beginning. Now we reach the final member of our boat or plate shape group. The letter ya. When it starts a word, it behaves exactly like its sisters ba, ta, tha, and noon, but with a special twist in its dots. The shape. In the initial position ya, the ya loses its swan tail and sits flat on the line. It looks like a small tooth with an arm reaching to the left. The most important rule, ya always has two dots underneath when it's at the beginning or in the middle. The sound of ya is like the English letter ya. You can hear it at the start of words like yellow, yes, or yogurt. Examples, yad, meaning hand. The ya starts the word and stretches its arm to hold the dal. Notice the two dots underneath. يقطين, meaning pumpkin. The ya connects to the qaf. The letter ya in the middle. When the letter ya is in the middle of a word, it continues to act like a member of the boat or plate shape family. It keeps the same tooth shape we saw at the beginning, but its connection depends on its neighbors. The shape. The bridge ya. If the letter before it is friendly, the ya stretches two arms to connect the letter before it and the letter after it. It always keeps its two dots underneath. Examples, ثياب, meaning clothes. Here the ya is a bridge between the tha and the alif. It stretches both arms and keeps its two dots below the line. Starter ya. If it follows a stubborn letter, it only stretches its left arm. It always keeps its two dots underneath. طريق, meaning road, path. Here the ya acts as a bridge. It holds the ra on the right. Since ra is a stubborn, it doesn't hold back, but the ya still sits in the middle position and connects to the qaf on the left. In the word, it sounds like a long yi. The sound. In the middle of a word, ya can sound like a long e, as in feet, or ye sound as in bio. The letter ya at the end. We have reached the end of our journey with the boat or shape family. When the letter ya comes at the end of a word, it stops looking like its sisters and returns to its unique original shape. The shape. At the end of a word, the ya looks like a swimming swan with the two dots underneath. Connected ya. If the letter before it is friendly, it stretches its right arm to connect. Example, kursi, meaning chair. The ya is connected. It holds the hand of the letter seen before it. It sounds like a long E at the end. Independent ya. If the letter before it is stubborn, it stands alone. Example, nai, meaning flute. Traditional reed flute. The ya is independent because it follows an alif, a stubborn letter. It sits alone in its full swan shape. The sound at the end of a word, it usually sounds like a long English E, as in happy, or sounds as yes sounds as in boy. Now we will move to the second group in the non-stubborn letters, which is the belly shapes group. The letters of this group are Jeem, Ha, Kha, Ain, and Ghayn. Let's start with Jeem. The letter Jeem at the beginning. We are starting a new family of letters. Our first guest is the letter Jeem. When it comes at the beginning of a word initial position, it changes its shape to make room for its friends. The shape. In its original shape, Jeem has a big belly, but when it starts a word Jeem, it gives up its belly and stays flat on the line. It keeps its sharp head and stretches its left arm to connect to the next letter. Don't forget the most important part, it has one dot underneath its belly, or under the line. The sound. The sound of Jeem is just like the English letter J. You can hear it in words like jam, jump, or joy. Example, Jabal, meaning mountain. The Jeem starts the word sitting on the line and holding the hand of the letter Ba. Jawz, meaning walnuts, nut. The Jeem stretches its arm to connect with the letter Waw. The letter Jeem in the middle. When the letter Jeem is in the middle of a word, it acts as a strong link between letters. Its shape depends on whether the letter before it wants to hold hands. The shape. The braid Jeem. If the letter before it is friendly, the Jeem stretches its right arm to connect to the previous letter and its left arm to the next one. The Jeem always keeps its one dot underneath. Examples, Hajar, meaning stone or rock. The Jeem is a perfect bridge here. It holds the Ha on the right and the Ra on the left. The starter Jeem. If it follows a stubborn letter like Alif or Dal, it looks just like it does at the beginning. Stretching only its left arm, the Jeem always keeps its one dot underneath. Dajaja, meaning chicken. In the word, the Jeem follows the letter Dal. Since Dal is stubborn and doesn't hold hands to the left, the Jeem starts fresh, stretching only its left arm to hold the Alif. The letter Jeem at the end. When the letter Jeem comes at the end of a word, it finally gets its big belly back. It returns to its full original shape to signal that the word is finished. The shape. At the end of a word, the Jeem has a straight head and large deep belly. The dot is now placed safely inside the big belly. Connected Jeem. If the letter before it is friendly, it stretches its right arm to hold it. The dot is now placed safely inside the big belly. Example, Nasj, meaning weaving. The Jeem is connected. The letter Sin before it is friendly and holds the Jeem's arm. The dot sits inside the belly. Independent Jeem. If the letter before it is stubborn, it stands alone. The dot is now placed safely inside the big belly. Example, Burj, meaning tower. The Jeem is independent. Because it follows the letter Ra, a stubborn letter, it stands alone in its full shape. Now we will move to the second letter in the belly shape group. This letter is Ha. The letter Ha at the beginning. Meet the second member of the Jeem family, the letter Ha. It looks exactly like the Jeem, but it has one big difference, the shape. When ha starts a word, it loses its big belly and sits flat on the line. It stretches its left arm to hold the next letter. Remember, ha is clean and empty, so there are no dots above or below it. The sound. The sound of ha is a very soft, breathy ha. It sounds like you are breathing on a cold window to make steam, or like gentle sigh. It's much deeper and breathier than the regular English ha. Examples: Haris, meaning guard, keeper. The ha starts the word and connects to the alif. Halwa, meaning sweets, candy. The ha stretches its arm to hold the letter lam. The letter ha in the middle. When the letter ha is in the middle of a word, it stays clean and empty with no dots, just like its sister Jeem. Its shape changes based on the letter before it. The shape. The bridge ha. If the letter before it is friendly, the ha stretches two arms to connect the letters on both sides. Ha has no dots anywhere. Example: lahm, meaning meat. The ha is a bridge here. It holds the lam on its right and the mim on its left. Ha has no dots anywhere. The starter ha. If it follows a stubborn letter, it looks like it does at the beginning, stretching only its left arm. Ha has no dots anywhere. Example: waha, meaning oasis. Here the ha follows the letter alif. Since alif is stubborn and doesn't hold hands to the left, the ha starts fresh, connecting only to the ta marbuta on its left. The letter ha at the end. When we reach the end of a word, the letter ha returns to its full original shape. Just like at the beginning and middle, it remains completely empty, no dots at all. The shape. At the end of a word, the ha regains its big curved belly with no dots at all. Connected ha. If the letter before it is friendly, it stretches its right arm to hold it with no dots at all. Example: qamh, meaning wheat. The ha is connected. The letter mim before it is friendly, so the ha holds its hand and then draws its big belly. Independent ha. If the letter before it is stubborn, it sits alone with no dots at all. Example: misbah, meaning lamp, lantern. The ha is independent because it follows an alif, a stubborn letter. It stands alone in its full shape. The letter kha at the beginning. Now we meet the third sister of this family, the letter kha. It looks just like Jeem and ha, but it carries its dot in a different place, on top of its head. The shape. In the initial position, kha sits flat on the line and stretches its left arm to connect to the next letter. It keeps its sharp head, and the most important detail is the one single dot placed clearly above it. The sound of kha is unique. It's a raspy or scratchy sound made of the back of the throat. It sounds like the kha in the Scottish word loch or the German name Bach. Imagine you are clearing your throat gently. Examples: khashab, meaning wood. The kha starts the word and holds the hand of the letter shin. Don't forget the dot on top. Khatim, meaning ring. The kha stretches its arm to connect with the alif. The letter kha in the middle. When the letter kha is in the middle of a word, it stays strong and keeps its special dot on top. Like its sisters, it loves to connect, but its shape depends on the letter before it. The shape, the bridge kha. If the letter before it is friendly, the kha stretches two arms to connect the letter on its right and the one on its left. It always keeps its one dot on top of its head. Example: sakhra, meaning rock. The kha is a bridge here. It holds the sad on the right and the ra on the left. The starter kha. If it follows a stubborn letter, it looks like it does at the beginning, stretching only its left arm. It always keeps its one dot on top of its head. Example: bakhira, meaning steamship, large ship. Here the kha follows an alif. Since alif is stubborn and doesn't hold hands, the kha starts fresh with its dot on top and holds the ra on the left. The letter kha at the end. We have reached the end of the word with the letter kha. Just like its sisters Jeem and ha, when it comes at the end, it brings back its big deep belly with one dot on top, the shape. At the end of a word, the kha returns to its full shape. Connected kha. If the letter before it is friendly, it stretches its right arm to hold it before drawing its belly. Example, مطبخ, meaning kitchen. The kha is connected. The letter ba before it is friendly, so it holds the kha's arm. Independent kha. If the letter before it is stubborn, it stands alone in its full original form. Example, كوخ, hut, cottage. The kha is independent. It follows the letter waw, which is stubborn letter and doesn't connect to the left. Now we will move to another letter within the belly shape group, which is عين. The letter عين. The letter عين at the beginning. This letter is very special because it has a sound you won't find in English. In the beginning of a word, the عين is very helpful and stretches its arm to connect to its friends. The shape. When عين starts a word, it keeps its small open mouth, the top curve, but it drops its giant belly that usually goes below the line. It sits flat on the line and stretches its left arm to hold the next letter. It looks like a small C sitting on the line with a long arm reaching out. The sound. The sound of عين is unique. It comes from the middle of your throat. To make it, imagine you are squeezing your throat muscles slightly to make a deep, choked ah sound. It's not just a vowel, it's strong, vibrating sound from deep inside. عين, ah. Examples. عشب, meaning grass. The عين starts the word. See how it keeps its small mouth open and reaches out to hold the sheen. عقرب, meaning scorpion. The عين is at the beginning, connecting perfectly to the qaf. It stays slim and sits right on the line. The letter عين in the middle. Now let's look at the عين in the middle of a word. This letter does something very cool. When it's surrounded by friends on both sides, it closes its mouth and turns into a tiny solid triangle. It's like it's blinking its eyes. The shape. In the middle, the عين stretches its right arm, goes up to draw a small triangle, fills it in usually, and then stretches its left arm. Unlike the beginning, the mouth is no longer open. It looks like a little flat-topped knot on the line. Special case, عين. If it follows a stubborn letter like alif, it keeps its open shape because it can't hold hands to the right. Examples, شمعة, meaning candle. Here the عين is perfectly connected. It holds the meme on the right and the تاء مربوطة on the left. See how it becomes a tiny triangle on the line. شاعر, meaning pout. This is the stubborn letter rule. Because it follows the alif, the عين stays in its open mouth shape. It only stretches its left arm to hold the ya. The letter عين at the end. Finally, we reach the end of the word. When the عين is in the final position, it's time for it to bring back its big curved belly. Just like it did in the middle, it might change its head depends on its neighbors. The shape. At the end of a word, the عين always finishes with a large curve that sinks below the line. Connected عين. If the letter before it is friendly, the عين stretches its right arm, makes its closed triangle head, and then drops into a big belly. Independent عين. If the letter before it is stubborn, it stays in its original open mouth shape with the big belly. Examples. إصبع, meaning finger. The عين is connected. It holds the hand of the ba. Notice how its head is a closed triangle like the middle shape, but it adds that big beautiful belly at the end. شموع meaning candles. The عين is independent. It follows the letter واو. Since the واو is stubborn, you won't hold hands. The عين keeps its open mouth and its big belly, just like the original letter in the alphabet. Now let's move on to the other letter, the غين. The letter غين at the beginning. Now let's meet the twin sister of the عين. The letter غين, they look exactly the same, but the غين has a dot on top. The shape, just like the عين, when the غين starts a word, it keeps its small open mouth curve but loses its big belly. You must put one dot right above its head. It sits on the line and stretches its left arm to hold hands with the next letter. The sound of غين is very unique. It sounds like gargling sound. Imagine you are gargling water, or like the French غ in the word Paris. It's a scratchy, vibrating sound that comes from the top of your throat. It's much deeper than a regular English g. Examples: غيمة meaning cloud. The غين starts the word holding the hand of the ya. Notice the open mouth and the dot on top. غراب meaning crow, raven. The غين is at the beginning, connecting to the ra. It stays flat on the line and keeps its dot above. The letter غين in the middle. Now let's see our gargling letter in the middle of the word. Just like its twin عين, the غين loves to transform. When it's holding hands on both sides, it closes its mouth and becomes a tiny, solid triangle with a special dot on top. The shape غين in the middle. The غين stretches its right arm, draws a small closed triangle, and then stretches its left arm to the next letter. The most important part is the one dot sitting right above the triangle. The stubborn rule: if it comes after a stubborn letter like ra, it stays in its open mouth shape because it can't connect to the right. Examples: صغير meaning small, young. Here the غين is perfectly connected. It holds the صاد on the right and the ya on the left. It looks like a little closed knot with a dot on top. رغيف meaning loaf of bread. This is a great example of the open shape in the middle. Because it follows the ra, the غين can't hold hands to the right. It keeps its open mouth and sits flat on the line with its dot above. The letter غين at the end. We have reached the end of the word for our gargling letter, the غين. Just like its twin عين, when the غين is at the very end, it brings back its big round belly to finish the word with style. The shape: in the final position, the غين always has a large curve that goes below the line. Connected غين. If it connects to a friendly letter before it, the head becomes a closed triangle and then it drops into the big belly. Don't forget the dot on top. Independent غين. If it follows a stubborn letter like ألف, it stays in its original open mouth shape with the big belly and the dot. Examples: صائغ meaning goldsmith, jeweler. The غين here is connected. It holds the hand of the ya. See how the head is closed and solid, followed by the big belly and the dot on top. دماغ meaning brain, mind. This is the independent shape because it follows the ألف. The غين stands alone. It looks exactly like the letter you first learned: an open mouth, a big belly, and a dot. And that brings us to the end of our journey today. We've explored the first two friendly or non-stubborn groups: the boat plate group, باء, تاء, ثاء, نون, and ياء, and the belly group, جيم, حاء, خاء, عين, and غين. You've seen how these shapes adapt, stretch, and lose their tails just to hold hands with their neighbors. The most important thing to remember from today is that friendly letters always sit flat on the line when they are at the beginning or in the middle. They only show their full beautiful shapes, the plates and the bellies, when they are at the very end of a word. To truly master these, I want you to try this at home. Pick one letter from each group we studied today and try to write it in its three positions. Practice make perfect. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the social side of the Arabic alphabet, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and reach more learners like you. In our next video, we will continue with the remaining four groups, including some of the most unique shapes in Arabic. You won't want to miss it. Thank you for joining me today. Keep practicing, stay curious, and I will see you in lesson 3. مع السلامة.